People with lack of information, people who don't read, are usually the people who believe everything they hear from the pulpit or from other people. But those who go the extra mile to search for information are repertoires of documents themselves. That's the way I put it. When you search for information, you become a repertoire or a repository for information. You become an information database. That way, you will question everything that comes your way. That way, your mind, your creative mind is gingered. It is poured into action. You question, you ask questions, and your creative mind is alive. This is the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. And as usual, I am your host and producer, Demola Sanyaolu. And today, it's an awesome moment for us on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. Why? Because right now, the interviewer becomes the interviewee. That's the way I put it. All right, we have been doing a lot of work to make sure we entertain, we educate, we inform, we enlighten, and we bring a whole lot of adventure to your living rooms or to your mobiles, wherever you are. That's what we've been doing. We've been giving you live information that you can carry anywhere you go, on your mobile phones, on your laptops, and on other devices. That's on www.nollywoodbroadcastingservice.com. Today, the president, the founder, the CEO, the money man of Nollywood Broadcasting Service is with me today, and we're going to be talking about him and this excitingly tremendous, amazing book he has written. That book is awesome. We're going to be talking about him as a person. We're going to be talking about the book. I am Demola Sanyaolu. Don't go anywhere. These promises to be very exploring and adventurous for you. We'll be right back after this break.
I don't believe that he brought me believe. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Come on, come on. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe. One more time. He's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me.
Welcome back. I am Demola Sanyaolu, and you know me for who I am. I will dig to the roots and get you the most exciting interview. I have with me today the CEO himself of Nollywood Broadcasting Service. He's my brother, he's a tutor, he's a teacher, he's a friend. You know, he's more like a father to me because he has, we've come a long way. A short time though, but we've done quite a lot together. I learn from him daily. Because he is a repertoire of information when you're doing things the way he wants, the way you want to do it, and it gives you other creative ideas. You will be amazed when you use that idea. I have with me Cyprian Josson. Cyprian Josson is the founder and CEO of Nollywood Broadcasting Service. Cyprian, nice to have you now.
Thank you, Demola. Thank you. I'm so flattered, and I enjoy having you also all the way from Lagos, for all the job you've been doing. You've been doing a wonderful job since 2.5 years.
All right. Now, Cyprian, let's start from you. Globally now, the world has become a global village, and when anyone hears a name or hears a subject that is strange to them, the first thing they go is on the internet and they type the name, and then a whole lot of information about that name comes up. Now, one funny thing is that when people type your name on the search engines, a lot of information comes up. It must have taken you quite a laborious task to get to that level of global influence. You have now become an economic figure globally. How did you achieve that?
Yeah, thank you, Demola, for this question. you know, all my life, I've been involved in creativity. And starting when the internet did not exist, and now in the internet age, like you said, the world is now a global village. You know, I continued with what I've been doing since my childhood. I can remember from the age of 9. At a very young age, I acted so many plays, and I've been writing, reading, and it's all my life. So coming to the age of the modern technologies, what we call the internet and other devices like Facebook and so on. Now, I find myself privileged to use all these devices. So, like you said, if you Google my name up on the internet, you'll see Cyprian Josson everywhere. It's because I've been involved in so many activities in France. First of all, with the Gospel and Negro Spiritus Festival for 10 years. I've been involved in African cultural events here, and they call me the African ambassador in the area, in my little town where I live. So, and again, posting all this on the internet, somehow, all these postings have made me an internet star somehow. So, and I advise a good number of people to use these tools because they are very, very important. And this is how some people come to get in touch with me quickly. And then in terms of this book, I think there will be more promotions again on the internet.
Before going to the book, let's talk about you. Was there any time in your childhood that anything you did or some of your habits or your mannerisms or nuances pointed to the fact that you're going to become a media mogul?
Yes, yes, yes. That's a very good question. Now, I talked about Ibadan. Ibadan was a very important place for me because I grew up in Ibadan. And I met a lady called Dolores Viola. She was an American Peace Corps at the period. And this lady took me on her wings because I was in the primary school, and she came to our school to pick up students that can speak English correctly and again can memorize texts, any type of text quickly. So there was a test, and I was one of the, in fact, I was the person chosen because the other students were unable to come up with an essay. It was an essay at the period. So I started with the Young People's Arts Theatre, and there Dolores Viola taught me English, you see. You know, in what we're doing in communications, in writing, and again in the press media, you need to read a lot. So I started reading anything that comes my way, because she inspired me a lot. Dolores Viola at the period was a professor at University of Ibadan. So getting down to the seminary also, where I wanted to be a priest, French and literature were my best subjects, you see. So I think it started from my childhood. And I can tell you what many people don't know is that at the period I created my own small troupe where we used to act plays. I have written myself at the period. So when I look back at this period, I smile because it was the foundation of what I am today.
We have discussed severally, you were in Nigeria during the Civil War. You want to share, I'm sure you're thankful that the universe kept you alive to witness this period. You want to share some of those nostalgic experiences you had during the Civil War?
Yeah, well, like I was saying, Ibadan, I refer again to Ibadan, which is a very strong reference for me, and that molded me, and was everything that made Cyprian Josson today. But when I left Ibadan, you know, it was a very sad moment to leave Ibadan because of the political crisis of the period. So, and I found myself in a village. You see, it was very, very sad because I have to leave Dolores Viola behind. She promised to take me down to Michigan, even if she didn't want to do it. You see, going to a region where after some months the war was declared. You see, you don't know what was going to happen at the period. In fact, the point is that when the war was declared, that's the Biafra War, people were happy. It's true because the Igbos were massacred in the north. You see, each one of us, we lost somebody in the north. So you find a safe haven where you think that you will be safe, and eventually we are no more safe, you see, because Biafra was it was a tough place to live, you see, very, very, very tough, and the war is not good. You can see in the Biafra period, people ate lizards, people ate rats. You see, it was very, 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 very tough. So I don't wish anybody to go through that experience. But coming back to my status as a writer, I wrote so many things about the war. And remember, I was very young. I was taking notes, a diary of what was happening, what happened every day. It was a very tough time. And I lost a good number of my manuscripts during the war. And I hope to write a book about Biafra. But not now, because I'm interested more in Nollywood because that's where I am. But I will certainly write a book about that experience, because a writer will always immortalize all experiences, maybe through poetry or through any other means. I think it's going to be a novel to write my experiences about Biafra, and you know, we're now looking at different agitations in Nigeria and so on. You cannot look at it without thinking backwards and saying, oh, I lived during this period and it was a very tough period. So history repeats itself. That's what we're witnessing now from afar. I'm in France witnessing that, and a good number of people in Nigeria are witnessing that. After so many years, the ghost of Biafra is back again, you see. What I can say will be for a good number of our politicians to make sure that the people live fine. Biafra was a monster created by Nigeria, you see. And then I think the whole history is repeating itself again, just like the politicians didn't take the lessons of the Biafra war. And I can say if we have agitations now, it might mean that some people feel neglected in the Nigerian society. So I think that's what I can say as of the moment, not to go deeper into that war, because that's not the subject of this morning, but it's still part of my life, you see. It's still part of my life. No Igbo man that lived during the period will forget Biafra, because like I told you, Ibadan is still part of my life. Biafra is part of my life, and all the experiences I go through as a writer, they are all parts of my life, and I have to write about them.
All right, this is the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. Now the interviewer becomes the interviewee. I'm speaking with the president and founder of Nollywood Broadcasting Service, Cyprian Josson. Nice to have you on the show, Cyprian.
Thank you.
Cyprian, let's talk about your adventure. You served as European editor for the defunct Chicago-based African New Breed magazine.
Yeah.
You were also with the Chicago-based Window to Africa Radio.
Yeah.
On WDON 1450. And then you wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
Major books that I can refer to now: the Immigrant Ladder, and the Chicago Chartres.
Let me pronounce this correctly. It's du Chicago à Chartres, ce voyage qui a changé ma vie. That's from Chicago to Chartres. This journey that changed my life. Yeah. So that's the second book. Yeah.
All right. Now, I've seen that your adventure, the trend of your adventure before how would you say contributed to the grounding that you have now in the media?
First of all, I studied journalism with London School of Journalism. I have honors diploma in journalism. Then I studied photojournalism also. And then at this period, my good friend Siri Ibe asked me to join his team. And then we started, that time it was a magazine called Afriscope. No, New Breed, I'm sorry. African New Breed, that was the magazine. Cyril Ibe changed from written journalism to voice. And that became more interesting again. So I have to get down to Chicago at the period. And then I met him in Loyola University in Chicago, where he used to produce news. And that was my first experience to stand on a mic and read news. And I can tell you, it wasn't an easy experience, because you have to speak in front of the mic, and at times you have to keep the level of your voice somehow to make sure that the listener will get everything you are saying, and you have to fall on certain words. Your diction should be very clear, and that was a wonderful experience, meeting other journalists there also. It was something interesting when in his car when we're moving around Chicago, and then you hear your voice all over the town. You see, and that time I can tell you there was no internet, because it was all on cassette. So if you make a mistake, you have to roll back the cassette. You know, today, when I review that period with Siri today, he makes us laugh, because it was the best technology at the period. But now, can you imagine what we have now? You see, so from Afriscope, it was called Afriscope, on the community radio in Chicago, and then we moved down to Window to Africa Radio. Now, Window to Africa Radio was just a step forward again. Window to Africa Radio, WVON, is a commercial radio. So Siri had to buy airtime, 30 minutes, there, and then we fixed our programs during that period. And it was very, very interesting, very inspiring. So all this inspired me at the period to write, when I came back to Paris, to write The Immigrant Ladder. I was doing menial job at the period, and all my experiences in Immigrant Ladder talked about how immigrants coming all the way from Nigeria come here to sweep the streets of Paris, clean offices, and do menial jobs where you are humiliated from time to time, and just because you want to pay your rent. So I did that also, but I was taking notes. I told you Ibadan was the starting point. And anywhere you put a writer is a writer. So I had my block note every time, taking notes of how we were treated in the different sites where I worked.
Yeah, you say your adventure was a real metamorphosis, isn't it?
Yes, because I refused to be like the other immigrants.
Wow. We'll take a breather here, and when we return, I still have with me Cyprian Josson, the president and founder and CEO of Nollywood Broadcasting Service. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't feel. I don't feel no way time. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I don't feel no waste time. I don't feel no waste time. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. I don't feel no waste time. I don't feel no waste time. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Come on. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe. One more time. He's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me.
welcome back. I hope you've been enjoying the dramatic adventure of Cyprian Josson. He has said quite a lot concerning his adventure into the broadcast media industry, and it's quite metamorphosis. It's indeed a metamorphosis from egg to larva to pupa, and now it's a full-grown adult.
You can say that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. Yeah, we're still on the show. This is the Backstage Story Show. Now, Cyprian, Nollywood, that name has spirit in it. Nollywood, it's quite it's deep. You decided to write a book on Nollywood. It's quite magnanimous of you, because a lot of people that are even in the industry are not thinking about coming up with a document or a book that houses a whole lot of information about Nollywood. Where did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, like I've been saying, there's something about writing books. It's all about passion, talent, and again, education. You see, I started writing, like I told you, from my childhood. And secondly, when I visited Chicago, I attended creative writing meetings, not school, because I was on holidays there. So there's a place called Barnes & Nobles. And when you go to Barnes & Nobles, that's where you sell books in Chicago. There are authors that come per week, Cyril. He will do everything possible to make sure that he takes me down to Barnes & Nobles to listen to established authors, you see, the way they came up with their novels. And again, there was also a program on NPR. NPR is the radio in Chicago that talks about authors, what they call fresh air, yes. And now I will never miss that program. You see, that helped me again to come up as a real author. So just to give you the background. So coming to Nollywood, the idea of promoting Nollywood in France, like I used to say, came from my teaching geography in a French high school here. I created a website, a French website, and started publishing to educate the French people about this new cinema. And then many things happened in 2013. This same year, Nollywood TV started in Paris, in France. And the same year, Nollywood Paris Film Festival started also. So it was just like a type of a synopsis where people in different places in the city started something to promote African cinema. So we have to meet ourselves. So we have to meet ourselves.
It wasn't a coincidence, though, I don't think.
Right, okay.
It's working together.
Yes, but we were in different cities, Now, I published, after the magazine, I have to publish a magazine called, after the website, sorry. I have to publish a magazine I called Nollywood Croissants Magazine. Everything in French language and in color, illustrated, and again in glossy paper, but on screen, which you can still find on screen. So we did the first edition, 40 pages, very hectic job with my graphics and people around me, my team, and I can tell you we did not get a dime from it. And then we did the second edition, the third edition. And then I found out that the French people were not very interested at the period to read our magazines, and looking at the efforts and the work we have put into this magazine to educate them for free. And from then, I created my radio. And the radio started with Nollywood Radio France, which you all know, we still have the logo, and that's where we started, and then changed to Nollywood Broadcasting Service now. So after having talked to so many people, I went to the Nollywood Paris Festival consecutively during the 3 editions. I met important people, Nollywood stars, and I talked to everybody, people like Jason Njoko, and then finally, Demola, I met you also through somebody that passed away, and then you joined my team also. So we built, if I can say, a big catalog of voices And from there, I started thinking about writing a book. I decided to write a book to immortalize all these experiences. And so I wanted to bring a fresh air to the Nollywood industry by writing this book I entitled Nollywood, the $1 Billion Money Zone.
Wow, this is still the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Broadcasting Service, and you've been listening to the President and CEO himself exploring his adventure and his experience in the industry. Now, Nollywood, the $1 Billion Money Zone. Writing that book and doing a lot of research, you would have come across a lot of bottlenecks. What were some of the bottlenecks you encountered while trying to gather sources and information from people?
No, like I said, the references and sources, 90% came from the radio program.
Wow, amazing. Now, a lot of people, because we have spoken severally, we have talked about Nollywood being an economically viable industry globally, because Nollywood films and movies are just becoming viral all over the place, all over the globe. Your book explores so much about Nollywood. And from our discussion, you have mentioned severally. Who else made your writing and all that, contributed immensely?
Yeah, now, Demola, I'm coming back to you. Because here...
Who are those people that you really want to give kudos to?
Yeah. So, I'll start with you, Demola. Because, in the acknowledgement here, I made it clear that I'm grateful to Demola Sanyaolu, Lagos-based journalist and consultant of Nollywood, for some of the interviews and relentlessly being in my corner all along my research. Yes, because this book is not only my handwork. So, Demola Sanyaolu, you did a wonderful job, and you are still doing that job every time. And you are still doing it as you are interviewing me now. You see, you got this idea this morning. You are in Lagos, I'm in France. You said, okay, let's just do it. So you are the type of guy that can rise to the occasion and do anything. And this is what journalism is all about. And then the next person, to be very honest, is Rebecca Monye. I've never met all my life a person that can rise to the occasion like Rebecca Monye. What a voice. She can give it to you from this angle and articulate, and everything goes straightforward the way you want it. Now, Rebecca did a wonderful job, I can tell you, from the title and different suggestions and so on. And that's wonderful. I will never forget you, Demola, Rebecca Monye, and then Cyril Ibe, my friend for so many years. He's been there. And then he's the right person to say, this is not good, Cyprian. You have to change this. And I will take it immediately. I will not feel offended in any way, because we've been working together for so many years. And Cyril Ibe, for a good number of people, if you don't know him, Cyril is Assistant Professor of Journalism and Digital Media at Central State University, Wilberforce, Ohio, in the United States of America. So he's an authority. And then after reading the book, because he did the proofreading, he told me, Cyprian, you wrote a masterpiece there. The challenges, I wanted to make sure that I promote the industry, bring out a wonderful book that sounds positive, that can help the stakeholders in the Nollywood industry to at least gain from their sweat and efforts that they have been putting into African cinema.
Amazing. This is the Backstage Story Show, and you've been listening to the voice of the President and CEO and founder of Nollywood Broadcasting Service, Cyprian Josson. His name is all over the globe. He's contributing to the economic influence globally, because when you type his name on the internet, he's everywhere. This is the Backstage Story Show. I am Demola Sanyaolu. And before we go on this episode, Cyprian, let's talk about how to get this book. When do you intend to launch this book properly, and how will people be able, because a lot of people have started asking, this book, the design is colorful, and they would want you to see what is in there. How do people get the book eventually?
Yeah, thank you very much for that good question. I have to thank also a graphist, because when you're writing a book, you don't have a good graphist, it all means the book will never sell. Where they can get the book will be on our new platform. The Nollywood Broadcasting Service new platform will be published in the first week of March. And this platform is very beautiful. I think we have landed now. We come too far from where we started. It's a very painful journey, but I can say we have landed.
Let's bring it up. Come on, come on. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe. One more time. He's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me.
I'm Demola Sanyaolu. You can also read a lot of information from our website and from the backstagestory.tv website. You can get information. You can see the picture of the book and how it looks like. And then we will launch the website and the official website, the new platform, first week in March, NollywoodBroadcastingService.com. That is Nollywood, www.NollywoodBroadcastingService.com. On that website, you will listen to exciting and hilarious interviews, dramas, and quite a lot of information is there for you so that you don't get bored. Also hook up with me on backstagestory.tv, www.backstagestory.tv. It has been awesome, and Cyprian, it's been nice having you on this show today. Remember, as the CEO himself has said, as Cyprian Josson has said, the best book for you to buy, one of the best books for you to buy this year is Nollywood, the $1 billion money zone. It's quite an information material for you. That book is awesome. It's awesome. From the design, you will open the book and you won't want to stop until you get to the last cover page. It's an awesomely dramatic book for Nollywood. It's an archive. It's something you should have in your shelf and something you should read over and pass to future generations. I am Demola Sanyaolu saying, do well, keep well, and stay atop your game. Until I see you again, be good. Bye for now.